What's up, world? My name is Dana Harris, and I'm single-handedly trying to make math cool again. This new math stuff that you parents are having a problem understanding, gonna help you and your kids out. So, we're continuing on 4th grade fractions. And in the previous video, if you haven't seen it, please go back and watch it. We're talking about decomposing fractions, and so this particular example, we're going to talk about the same thing, but we're going to show you multiple ways, okay? So the previous one we showed how we can compose fractions using unit fractions. Well, we're going to make an extension of that. So if I have the fraction 4/5, well, 4/5, there's several ways that I can compose this fraction. So I'm going to break it down for you. So the first thing is and we really want to think about what numbers can you combine to get 4, okay? We know 4/5, this is composed of pieces that are 1/5 in size, okay? So one way that I could do this is I could simply say 1/5 plus 3/5 or 3/5, all right? So since they have the same denominator, 1/5 plus 3/5 is going to give me 4/5, okay? Now, we could also say this is 2/5 plus 2/5, okay? Remember, we're working with the fraction 4/5. So 4/5 is the same thing as 1/5 plus 3/5. It's also the same thing as 2/5 plus 2/5. The numerators, if I add them together, 2 plus 2 gives me 4, okay? Another way that we can do this is we can, by way of the commutative property, which changes the order of numbers, we can simply say that 4/5 is equal to 3/5 plus 1/5, okay? Same thing as this, but by the commutative property, we have switched the order of them, okay? So that's 3 different ways that we can compose the fraction 4/5. Now, let's get visual. We want to add a visual representation of this so that the kids can understand. A lot of kids, you give them manipulatives and they see things and they get to understand it a little bit better. So the 4/5, I'm going to say, let's do this. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to imagine that this is drawn perfect. That part bugs me. So, all right. So we have 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, and 1/5. Okay. So we're working with the fraction 4/5. So let's shade some of these in. Boom, 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 boom. So we've shaded 4 of them. So this is representing of 4/5, okay? Now, 4/5 can be, if we make a visual representation, we can simply say, let's say 1/5. So we're going to pretend that this is 1/5, okay? And then plus, okay, so 1/5, 1/5, and 1/5, which is 3/5, okay? So 1/5 plus 3/5 gives us the 4/5, and they would have the same value, okay? If these, once again, we're imagining that these are the exact same size. That's why I wrote 1/5 on there, so you can see that, okay? So it's also equal to, we can say 2/5 All right, so 1/5 plus 1/5 is 2/5, and then plus 2/5 gives me the 4/5. So 2/5 and 2/5 also gives me 4/5. We're just putting a visual of what we have up here. And then the same thing we could say, or 3/5 plus 1/5, okay? So we have 3/5 plus that 1/5. And once again, it all equals 4/5, okay? So we have just shown you how we can take a fraction and compose it of different fractions that are smaller in size, okay? So notice there's the regular mathematics way, and then there's the visual representation of it, okay? So remember, a lot of this stuff that you're seeing your students come home with, if you really have someone break it down for you, like I'm trying to do, then you can probably get a better understanding of it. The kids don't always know how to explain it. I hear so many parents say, well, I told my student that the answer was this, and they say, well, that's not it. That's not how you do it. So we're just trying to help you out and get you a better understanding of what the teachers are teaching them at school. That's that lesson. Young Guru's Math Tutoring. I've got the solution to your math problems, parents. And I have to admit, I forgot something in this previous video. So, we talked about composing fractions, but I have another example of that, because this example is going to give us 4/5, which is less than 1, but what if the pieces add up to give you a mixed number? How does that work? So, let's get rid of all this. Boom, 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 boom. All right, that stuff's gone. So what if I had 11/8? All right, so 11/8. What am I going to use to compose that? Now, 11/8 is equal to, we know it's more than 1 because it's an improper fraction, because the numerator is larger than the denominator. So let's say 8/8 plus 3/8. And notice 8/8 plus 3/8, 8/8 is equal to 1. So I have 1, and then I have 3/8 or 3/8, okay? So that's another way that we can do this, okay? This is another example of what students need to be able to do. So let's say if I have 9/5. Okay, 9/5 is equal to 5. No, you know what? I want to go bigger. Let's say we have 17/5. Okay, so 17/5, it's a larger number, but we can compose this. Let's say 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 2/5, okay? So notice this, that's equal to 1. That's another 1, and then we have the 2/5, okay? So I actually get 3 and 2/5, 17/5. So here we have the mixed number version. And all we did was, this is just making it simpler. The kids are learning math in a different form these days, but it's the same thing. We're just really trying to give them more of a conceptual understanding these days. We were just taught stuff. They said, hey, you learn it, this is what it is, and you better believe it. So nowadays we're trying to teach them to where they really get a conceptual understanding, to where they really know what they're doing and what it means, not just being taught a bunch of steps and how to do some things. So Young Guru's Math Tutoring, I got the solution to your math problems. I'm pretty sure you know that by now, but I'm going to keep saying it at the end of every video.